Hi, today I thought I'd talk a bit about growing celery and celeriac. They are seeds that you should start early on from say mid-March and try to get at least celeriac sown by beginning of April. I have some here. This is celery that was sown 20th of March. So I actually started at on the 14th. But my first lot of seedlings just failed quite miserably, so I thought I'd do a video about it and just explain what I learned this year. So when you start them off, they both celery and celeriac, here's celeriac, they need sunlight to germinate, so you should not put a cover over them, or it does work, I think, but it worked really well to germinate them this way, so I just sprinkled them on top of some compost mix with perlite or vermiculite, and then I covered it with clear plastic, and I put that on the windowsill in the house. So the even temperature in the house helps germination as well. That's the same for all seedlings, or all seeds I should say. So in spring it's a good thing to put them in the house first, and then once they pop out, you take them out into the greenhouse or into your outdoor growing area that you have. So I got them to germinate really well, and then I pricked them out, and they are tiny when you prick them out. And I pricked them out into a small module. And at that point, my first lot, I just watered them the wrong way. So for me, it worked best to water from underneath, because they're so small, there's like a risk of them just being swamped, and there was a lot of dampening off. And they're quite finicky, they don't want it to be too cold. The greenhouse was okay in the end, but I think maybe that was also one of the problems, that they were both too wet and there was a little bit too cold there at the beginning. But the second lot took fine. I lost a few, but in the end I have a full set of celery. This is full white, so it's a self-blanching type, and I think that's why it's a bit paler compared to the, I don't know if you can see that, celeriac here, and the celery is a bit paler, which means that you shouldn't need to bury the stems, so that is how you get those really white stems on the celery that you buy in the shop, I assume. So I don't do that with leeks, and I don't it's too much maintenance for me basically. So I bought this self-blanching one, and if you plant it close enough to each other, the foliage will make sure it's blanched to a point where I'm happy. Alright, so the planting distance will be, I think, 20 centimeters for these, as far as I can do it, and then the celeriac I'm going to do at 35 centimeters, so they have a bit of space to develop into a larger bulb. And I haven't really decided whether I'm going to cover them with mesh or netting yet, so I'm going to think about it. Yeah, we'll see. So first of all, I need to weed the bed, so I'm sitting on it right now. So this used to be where the garlic was, so I'm doing a no-dig style. So you basically just clear the crop that was there, you weed, you prepare the soil a bit by just evening it out, walking on it to make it a nice flat surface, and then you just plant into it. So it's very quick, and I think I will just speed forward through most of it, but yeah, I'll stop and talk to you a bit. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So what I'm weeding is basically bindweed, because that's what I've got growing. It's a perennial weed, so I can never get all the roots out. And also I will use this just to disturb the topsoil, and anything that's any seeds that have come in are disturbed enough so that they don't germinate, and that's enough. So yeah, enjoy watching me weed. So to do the planting out, I use a large dibber, which is just an old shovel, or no, it was a fork that was bent, so I cut it off. And then I did some markings here, just of usual planting distances, and that just helps me. And then I make a hole with the dibber. We'll see how it goes. It's been so dry, so it's been really difficult to do. We had a lot of rain last night, so maybe it's gonna work. So I'm gonna start with the Celeriac, and I'm gonna move the camera so that you can see properly. So I'll manage to get 4 here, and then another 4 here. So I can't go too close to the edges of my beds because of the turf. So I think that the roots of the grass is just taking nutrients and moisture around the edge. So there's quite a large border there where anything I plant is just a lot smaller. So that's a problem with having grass verges this close. So basically I should not have any grass paths. I should get rid of them all by mulching, and that's on my to-do list. So we'll see. So we have 1 spare. We'll see if we can fit that in at the end. Let's see if we can make planting holes. Right. Might struggle with that. Oh yeah. It's still really rock hard underneath. So gonna have to use the shovel instead. Alright. So you want to plant anything deep so that it protects it from windrock, and also any legginess will be eliminated, and the plant will just establish much better. So these ones are fairly easy to get the plant out of. However, I planted these in these bigger modules not too long ago, so yeah, they haven't filled up yet, but I thought I'd better get them out now that I have the space. So here we are. There's some roots here, and yeah, just plonk that in like so, and don't fill in the hole. That'll just happen over time with the rain and with the watering. Right, so Celeriac done, and celery's up next. So I'm gonna do 20 centimeters for these, and we have 12. So let's start marking out. So, and finally, now these guys are just getting watered. I'm not going to use the rose, I'm just going to use the tip of it. And these guys are lucky because they're getting rainwater. So that's that. I hope you enjoy this video, even though it might not be super relevant unless you have these seedlings ready to go into your bed. I decided to put these on just to protect against any curious birds that might like to have a nibble, see if they like it. I would try to discourage that. Obviously, you know, they can still get it, but usually it does the trick. And yeah, I hope you buy some celery and celeriac seeds for next year and have a go, you know. And I hope they'll be tasty. Happy growing.